Banks and Anchorage are my hometown. I've always felt like I was an artist. It was just growing up in long, dark winters in Alaska. I was always drawing and actually never knew that I would do anything else. Well, the piece that I think that I'm most proud of are the drum pieces that are a combination of traditional techniques of creating hide drums, but then using my form as a self-portrait on the drum bed itself, and then have myself singing our Ducklawady songs on top of the drum frame. And it's a piece that's really about a connection to culture and language. If the language is only continued through the song form, that's still okay. We still have those songs, and so it's really a celebration of what we still have and still participate in. There's an event in Juneau that happens every other year called Celebration, and I've been going for years. And then when we brought my son for the first time, he just fell in love with the drum, and we got him a little drum and stretched this little hide, and he played and played and played, and finally broke through the hide. And and I was replacing his drum his drum head for him, and kind of came to me about these pieces and about how important the songs are, and passing them along. And it was really after that experience that I felt, I've always kind of known the songs, but it was after that experience that I really took it upon myself to really know our songs so I could pass it to him. The processes involved for making the pieces, I kind of think of them as actually fairly simple processes. The real process was kind of the thought process behind it and how these things would come and form. And quite often I pre-visualize work beforehand and think about how it goes. And of course it always translates or changes in the process of creating, but I feel like that was really the challenging part of how to bring different elements together and make a cohesive statement with the pieces. So it's really about how could I illustrate an idea about language and songs, and this is what came above it. I did all the pieces myself. I cut every piece of metal and welded every stitch and stretched every hide and sewed every piece on and printed every piece on there. I guess there would be a collaborative sense to it in that I would listen to the songs, and it was my mother that had a recording of the songs, and that would be a piece that I could listen to, and so I could really learn the process. And then the large photographic work on the house image was from Celebration, and it was like trying to capture a sense of the dance itself, and so I could see a collaboration with all the dancers there that allowed me to photograph, and even though you can't really tell they're dancers. The circle, I've always liked this idea of circular forms and how they become repetitive sentences or patterns, and the seasons, and we believe in reincarnation, and this idea of growth and things. But with these particular pieces, with the knives, they have Tlingit text on one side and then English translations on the other side. So it is kind of about how on one side there's a lessening of using the language, and English kind of replacing the language on the other side. But I do think it's a circle. I teach in a Native Arts program, and and I find when I ask people who they are and where they're from at the beginning of class every year, that more and more people are introducing themselves in their languages, and so I do think that it is coming back. Is there an audience I would like to reach with this work? I hope that it's a universal message for everyone, and I shout it out to everybody. But I guess I don't know, maybe young men in particular. It seems like there's far more women going to school, and in my classes, it seems like statistically many more of them are there. And I'm wondering where the men are and where they're, what is happening with them. And so I hope that maybe the work would speak to them somehow also. But also just generally, that's just hopefully everybody can understand it.